Crash Bandicoot. A gaming icon in decline, but perhaps not forever. The series began back in 1996, which was considered in and around the golden era for 3D platformers. Pioneers of the industry brought to us games like Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Rayman, and many more. Games that are the best platformers of my childhood and arguably some of the best ever released. PlayStation execs challenged the team at Naughty Dog to create a mascot for years to come, to challenge Mario and Sonic. They came back with Crash Bandicoot. And I believe that Naughty Dog had mastered the linear 3D platforming world with a challenging yet fun game with their first Crash, whereas the likes of Super Mario 64 had the more open world of 3D platforming down. Recently, however, we've not exactly seen many platformers, or many good ones at that. Most have been lackluster, with some elements matching up with some of the older games, but none providing the full package that we had in the 5th generation of gaming. The only platformers in recent years that have been carefully put together have been mostly created by indie developers and gone under the radar, completely unnoticed. This obviously needs to be addressed, and I'm glad that games like Shovel Knight, albeit a 2D platformer, has gained some serious attention, whilst the AAA market is avoiding the genre completely, or just cashing in on poorly constructed games. I do think that this Crash Bandicoot remake, the N-Sane Trilogy, could mark a renaissance for the 3D platformer. Sure, this is somewhat of a cash-in for Crash, and there have been remakes of older renowned 3D platformers in the past, which may have led to the creation of the N-Sane Trilogy, who knows. Just bear with me here. I'd like to divert to another game for a moment, to emphasise how remakes can actually be quite good, or really bad for a franchise. The Ratchet and Clank Remake of 2016. As soon as I saw that they're remaking the first Ratchet and Clank game, I was over the moon as a long-term fan. But what I didn't realise, that this was essentially a cash grab while simultaneously helping the game movie's marketing. I don't quite understand why they had to do what they did, but obviously a pile of money was involved. The remake as it is was pretty fun to play through, don't get me wrong. It had some of the great guns from the originals and improved visuals and movement gameplay, but the magic that made Ratchet and Clank unique wasn't just the platforming, gunslinging, and the protagonist being some weird Lombax thing. It was the relationship between Ratchet and Clank and how it grows throughout the game and even series. The wit between them going from begrudging companions to good friends who actually care for one another. Instead, we got an altered plot from the movie, which was much more simplified and lacked almost any character. Obviously the movie was aimed at a younger audience than that of the nostalgic crowd, but the game didn't have to be directly linked, like how Insomniac are working on this Spider-Man game, but have avoided intruding on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they even had a high level of writing already done for them by guess who? Themselves, the 2002 Insomniac Games team. So they really had no excuse to be lazy. But how do I think remakes should be made? Well, they should be made to recreate the magic of the original. Remakes are almost always trying to tickle your nostalgic bones, so they should create a perfect reimagining of the original. It should hit every single beat of the original if possible, whilst also providing that classic game a freshen up to modern day standards visually, and perhaps an improvement on how it controls. The Crash Bandicoot series contains some of the best platforming ever witnessed in a video game. I'll say this now and I'll say it again, if you pick up a Crash Bandicoot game, you're guaranteed some fun. The N-Sane Trilogy knocks it out of the park as a remake. It felt just as fun, just as challenging, and just as rewarding as the originals, while sprucing things up with smoother gameplay, better visuals, and some small additional features, like being able to play through the levels as Coco Bandicoot. I mean, they've even gone on to support the remake with free DLC in the form of fully crafted deleted levels from the originals, all remade up to today's standards. This will definitely be my nostalgia talking, but I felt very happy when I loaded it up for the very first time, rediscovering my favourite moments which had only been improved upon from the original. I don't exactly smile an awful lot, especially for video games. The Crash remake forced a grin onto my face, and that's when you know a remake has fulfilled its purpose. It recaptured the magic of the originals, which not all remakes can do. Sure, Vicarious Visions had a template left for them, and a great one at that, from Naughty Dog all those years ago. But they stuck by it, through thick and thin, and created a respectful tribute to the icon and PlayStation mascot. Hopefully another developer can do the same with a different franchise, or, better still, an original IP. Godspeed gaming industry, make it happen. Thank you very much for watching this video on Crash Bandicoot and some of 3D platforming. I really hope 3D platforming comes back. It was one of my favourite genres as a child, and I'm so glad that the N-Sane Trilogy has hit every single beat, or at least I think so, off the original Crash Trilogy by Naughty Dog. And if you've not got it already, definitely go out and buy it. It's brilliant fun, and it plays almost exactly the same as the originals, but with better graphics. I've got a little bit of a soft spot for the franchise because the first Crash Bandicoot was the first ever video game that I played on a home console, and Crash Bandicoot 3 is one of my favourite games of all time, and coincidentally it was the first game I made a video on this channel, which the video's now been deleted because it was a terrible video, but even still, I felt like I needed to make a video on Crash Bandicoot because it was being remade, and this is what I came up with. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you've not done so already. My name is Andrew, or Stalli, and I'll see you on another video.